right. Good morning, NAHREP familia. How you guys doing? Woo, let's wake up. Day 2, right? Hey, AI, new technology. You guys been hearing about it on the news, on social media, and what it's been doing. So how does that apply with your business, real estate, mortgage, and all that? Today, we're going to find that out through these 4 major companies and these 4 great gentlemen here who are going to be talking about that information. So we'll get started, guys. So with that being said, I'll start with the first question. Emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and virtual reality are on everyone's mind. How is your company leveraging the opportunities these new technologies present, and how should agents be approaching this new technology?
So, there's a philosophy when it comes to technology, atoms versus bits, right? Things that are physical, that occupy physical space, that are, atoms, and then, bits that are all digital, software-based. Real estate's unique in that you're dealing with atoms. You can generate, efficiencies and, different experiences through bits, but, I see a lot of innovation and, maybe even more automation on the mortgage side because it's so data-centric. On the real estate side, you're always gonna have the human touch. Now, one thing that we have seen, and I'm curious to see what you guys think here, we've all seen different virtual reality sets. We've seen, I don't know if anybody has an Oculus in here. I do. I'm kind of, nerd out with it. But, it hasn't hit the market in a way that is usable by most consumers and most professionals because it's either expensive or you're so immersed you can't even see yourself around the room. I will tell you one thing that I do believe in is what Apple Vision's coming out with. So Apple actually invited us to their developer day a couple of weeks ago, and it's unbelievable. And it's one of those things that you experience it and you don't know how to explain it until you actually just do it yourself, because you can wear it and you can actually see the room around you, but it's spatial computing, where imagine where you're searching for homes, and by dragging your finger, you can make the screen bigger, you can enter the room through a 3D tour and actually feel the 3D dimensions. You could add different furniture in the home while you're actually sitting on your couch at home. So you're touring it, you're designing it, you're feeling it. That is something that I am highly confident is gonna be coming, and we need to embrace it. Now, it's gonna be expensive in the beginning, but it's gonna come down over time, and it's exciting.
I feel like what the technologies that Sam highlighted are incredibly exciting. From BaseCap's perspective, we're a data company, and we're all big data nerds that enjoy kind of analyzing data, and we see the opportunity of AI as an opportunity to enhance all processes, an opportunity to really build and maintain trust between mortgage institutions and borrowers. So I see this as an opportunity for where agents have built a lot of trust with borrowers directly, that human touch is required, but mortgage institutions need to maintain that trust over the life of the loan. A mortgage is typically 30 years, so in 30 years a lot of things could happen. There could be a refinance, there could be any sort of investor buying the mortgage, and during that process there could be multiple reasons for there to be data inaccuracies. So what BaseCap does is we monitor data to ensure that the data is accurate through the life of the loan, and we guarantee that mortgage companies will be able to maintain the trust with the borrowers by using reliable, accurate data and not having to pay millions of dollars to do so.
Awesome, that's great stuff there, Nico. With Redfin is partnering with the OpenAI and Google to help customers have a quicker and faster search. But furthermore, we're working with both OpenAI and Google so that it is fair housing compliant. And obviously you guys know how important that is. And so while we're very happy with the work that we've been doing, there's still a long way to go. It's unfortunately, it's just not like buying airline tickets, you know what I mean? It's not as easy as that. But we're really happy with the progress that we've made. On a micro level, with regards to Redfin and using AI, we're using predictive modeling to predict high-intent customers. So within our system, for our agents, we're actually predicting by flagging them these high-intent customers, which is, in essence, creates a hot list. In using this hot list, because as you guys know, there's a lot of moving objects, and our agents can really focus on that hot list so that way they can better their business. My takeaway as far as for the audience here today, guys, there's like a lot of shiny objects happening in the space, okay? Quite literally, every 2 to 3 months, something new is coming out there. So my suggestion to you, if you're not in a brokerage that's actually providing AI and technology that you'd like to use, I would definitely just narrow your focus and really go with maybe 3 or 4 where you become a master, really get to know that stuff, bond with some of the vendors. Some of the vendors might be here today that you might like to use. So that would be my takeaway for today.
Thanks. And so Realtor.com also doing some similar things to Redfin. AI and ML are really infused through a lot of our product experiences. Similar, we built a lot of what we call classification algorithms that we call kind of our data building blocks. Are you likely to be a buyer or renter, likely to be interested in new homes? Where are you in that journey? Are you early or ready to transact? And we use that to personalize a lot of the in-app experiences, the product experiences, and our marketing campaigns to make them more relevant for the consumers. We also do some really cool things where we use computer vision and natural language processing to take the images from a listing and the descriptions that the agent puts in to create metadata about those listings. So even if it's not explicitly stated, is there a pool in this photo? Is there a pond? Is there a playground? And we use that to surface filters for our users to be able to search on those specific things to help them find the most relevant listings for themselves. From end to end, it's infused through a lot of the product, and I'll echo a lot of what they say in terms of the second part of the question. I find the areas where technology has really exploded is when it addresses a specific need that is there. And like Sam mentioned, there's a lot of VR headsets out there right now that haven't really addressed a specific need, so they haven't accelerated it. And it's funny, I saw an ad, it was a banner over a parking garage, and it said, "ChatGPT, please build this parking garage." And it's like, especially with the jobs that you all do, there is always going to be an in-person element to this that's not going to be able to be replaced. And there's also going to be a lot of gimmicky, like really cool, glitzy stuff that happens. I would focus on the areas where it's really addressing and relieving an area of tension or need in the way that you do business. And those are the areas, if you embrace that, that's what's really going to accelerate the adoption of that technology and how you utilize it. I think Microsoft recently came out with Copilot. I think it's a really, really cool application of AI as these new LLMs and generative AI algorithms are out there. And if you think about it, if you could have like a Jarvis or a real AI companion to help automate and make more seamless some of the more menial parts of the job, that's really, I think, where the benefit's going to be.
Thank you for that, Ted. One of the things that I wanted to point out is that if you guys are thinking that AI is going to replace a real estate agent, it's not. The reason why is because a lot of millennials and Zoomers that are coming right after them, they like to go online. They like to get information and utilize AI for their home buying process or home selling process. But one thing they always do, though, is they always ask their parents before they make that big decision. And so that parent can signify an expert, and that expert's us. So you make sure that you guys are looking at this in such a way where this is a tool that's going to make your business grow in an exponential way, and you're going to keep that competitive advantage because the industry is changing and we have to embrace it. So key, that's very key. So thank you for that, Ted. That leads me to the second question. Again, we can start here. How has the integration of digital platforms transformed the home buying process, and what benefits does it bring to both clients and professionals in the real estate and mortgage sectors?
So in complete agreement with Ted and what you just said, I think adoption is critical for any new technologies to be successful. There's a lot of new technologies like credit checks, background checks. We have signature technologies that are helping kind of the entire process that are revolutionizing how mortgages work. Blockchain could potentially be a disruptor in the industry. But for there to be a successful adoption of all these technologies, there needs to be a lot of integration and orchestration with the downstream processes as well. And I feel like the industry will only fully change once these platforms are completely adopted and utilized in the industry.
Let me tell you, it's never been a more exciting time to be an agent. These digital platforms, whichever ones that you're using, has really allowed us to start that relationship by meeting the customer online. In addition, now with all that data that's out there, our customers are more savvy and more educated than we've ever had before. And then just a quick point about Redfin, we've been able to capture that, that digital platform by just having that on-demand service, on-demand tours, because as you as well as I know, like everybody wants that instant gratification. And how it's affecting, you know, professionals in the space, including loan officers, it's really been transformational. Just like it's been for agents, it's been transformational because they have the data now at their fingertips, where before they might have gotten the license to get the same data that we had. And it's really changed the landscape for the better because everything is happening so much quicker. And guess what? We as agents got to be quicker because you guys know now that these customers have that information, if we don't respond just as quick as the rest of them, like they're going to move on to somebody else. And we don't want that to happen, right? So I can't tell you how many times I talk to appraisers, to inspectors, loan officers, real estate attorneys that are like, hey, they're on their A game, and so that means we got to be there as well. I just wanted to make a quick point to Edwin. Edwin was talking about, hey, what we're talking about here is that first mile, the top of the funnel, has been tremendous. You can go buy leads, you can really get all these customers. But to Edwin's point, the last mile where you actually have to pick up the phone and talk to a customer, that's you and me, guys. And that's where we come in. And that's the kind of stuff, if you really want to distinguish yourself, understand that we all have the same data, but find those nuances that make you different, those little things, whether it's talking to a listing agent, finding the ins and outs of the neighborhood, the things that the digital platforms don't offer, because the agent still plays a primary focus on this.
Great point.
Yeah, anything emotionally, any experience that is emotionally evoking is best served by a really well-groomed, well-trained professional. That's my opinion. I think that's going to be a little bit of the truth here. And even if there was an automated way to buy or sell a home, I think people would be freaked out by it. I really do, because at some point you're going to need help. When it comes to Rocket, obviously, you know, I'm the president of Rocket Homes, but our parent or our sister company, Rocket Mortgage, we all have the same parent company. So I'll answer this through the lens of, you know, Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Homes together. Look, we have millions of users coming to our sites, more and more every day. And for us, it's about being able to stratify intent based on what these users are doing. What's unique, I think, with us is that because we have such a strong mortgage platform and a 50-state mortgage platform in Rocket Mortgage, a 50-state real estate platform in Rocket Homes, we're able to stratify not only their financial intent and viability, but also their real estate and house hunting intent and viability based on things that you would too, right? Like, you know, are they saving homes? Are they looking in their price range? Are they even approved? What step do they need to take to get that approval? We layer all of this on a spectrum where it's like high intent, low intent, and we try to guide them. And then from there, we take the clients that we believe could use a conversation with a local professional and guide them to you. So that way, ideally, it's a higher converting client. It's also somebody that's higher intent, more educated. And we're in, you know, year 2 of launching our digital platform as it relates to the purchase space. And it's early days, but it's working.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
we're seeing
Great
more
point.
clients go with the Rocket bundling because it's all in one place. And you know, positive news so far from our agents.
That's great. Ted?
Yeah, and I think, to echo what everyone's saying, I think there's really 3 main things that this digital evolution is enabling. A, it's access to information. B, it's removing friction in terms of communication. And 3, it's, with all of that access to information, it's enabling more sophisticated data-driven decision-making on both sides. I mean, I think even, you know, my uncle is a real estate agent, and was a real actual Uncle Larry. So 10 years ago, when I bought my first home compared to the experience when we did it last year, I mean, even just the amount of information we were able to come with on the buy side, being able, like, looking at what homes were in market, we were bringing houses to him that we wanted to go see, as opposed to the opposite of that. The less documents that we had to print out, like sign and scan and send back that could be digitally signed, was significantly less. And Even you look at it from a business standpoint, the ability to make more sophisticated promotion decisions, wider reach of, with what potential customers that you're going to be able to get, those are all being enabled by technology. And I see as these platforms get more integrated and even the access to information starts going into the deep net with these new, chat GPT and like the LLMs, it's just going to keep accelerating that. You're going to have more and more informed consumers that you're working with. On the seller side, I still think sellers are going to go right to an agent because that's kind of what the methodology is there. But on the buy side, you're going to see more and more information going to the hands of the consumer.
Appreciate it. Exciting information there. I mean, this is just the beginning, guys. I mean, years from now, technology they're going to be talking about is going to be totally different, and so it's going to be normalized throughout the industry. So, 1 minute each for Sam. Sam, it appears that Rocket is offering a Rocket bundle with programs like Buy Plus and Sell Plus. Can you tell us how you're using your consumer platform to target clients in the Rocket ecosystem?
Yeah, sure. First of all, just for those that may not know, and hopefully you've seen our commercials, but Buy Plus is the first time at Rocket we've bundled the Rocket Homes real estate service and the mortgage service. So a consumer actually gets a big closing credit when they use a Rocket Homes partner agent and they close with Rocket Mortgage, they get a big closing credit, right? So that's what that is. Look, because we have those millions of users that are coming into our platform every single day, I will say the digital platform allows us to communicate things at scale consistently, where, it's difficult to get, my two kids to say the same thing, and they live in my house about the same thing. It's very difficult to get a sales force of, thousands of people that are talking to consumers every day to always say the same thing the same way. It's not that it doesn't happen, it's just challenging. This is where technology has served us well. Right, we're able to communicate on rockethomes.com. If you get this home, here's how much you would get, and here's why. Let's get you matched up with an agent. It's repeatable, it's consistent, and it's yielded really good results. Our agents, who maybe some in this room that are in our network, they are experiencing a much higher closing conversion when these clients come in because there's such a big closing credit to close with them. So, positive news so far there.
Great point, Sam. Ted, can you talk about Realtor.com? Use data to empower agents to improve their businesses?
Sure. So really excited. A couple months ago, we made this complimentary for all real estate agents with a Realtor.com Pro account. It's a listing intelligence suite of tools. So for all of your listings on our site, you are able to get access to information on how is the engagement of your specific listing doing compared to comparably priced listings in that zip code? How many views, how many times is it showing up in search results, how many shares. You're able to see market-specific information for that zip code. Simple things like median price, median days on market, but also how many price changes, price reductions have been there. You're also able to see the buyers in that specific area. How many buyers in that area are looking at comparably priced homes versus the overall buyer population in that market. It enables you to make more informed decisions on, do we need to reprice this based on to get more bulk of the buyers, or are we okay with the niche pricing of this? As well as where is all the interest coming from and what zip codes, which enable you to make more informed decisions on where you want to pay for promotions. And you can send this to your seller, customize what parts of it are in there, as well as add your own personalized branding.
Thank you, Ted. Appreciate it. Luis, Redfin, how are you guys working to leverage technology to broaden your customer?
So we're leveraging technology really just to increase that customer experience. We're really focused on providing data, either really complex or otherwise hard to find data, just put it in the public sphere. Examples of that are climate risk, mortgage down payment assistance, efficiency ratings, zoning and land use laws. But I personally have been looking for a condo in Chicago for the last 6 months, okay? And I go to the Redfin website, and you can create a safe search or default it to the neighborhood. But my neighborhood's real narrow and real focused, so I actually just went on there and actually created my own map. And so when I go there, I I go to the website and I can see all the different homes and all the new homes that have just come out, which is fantastic. You scroll a little bit further, then you can see a competitive risk score. You can actually see what it takes in that neighborhood in order to win an offer, which is fantastic. But I don't know if that's going to be my forever home. So there's actually data there that how much I could actually lease that for, which is phenomenal because I know how much I could rent it for. And then lastly, if you scroll a little bit further, the one thing that I find super fascinating is there's migration patterns. If you want to find out who's moving into your neighborhood, into your city, you can actually see, and I can tell you right now, guess what? People are actually coming from Denver to Chicago, which is awesome.
All right, nice, thank you. Nick, real quick, more about BaseCap Analytics and improving data quality and driving revenue.
Yeah, so in the interest of time, since we're running out of time,
Yeah.
BaseCap, as I mentioned before, adoption is critical for the industry, for new technologies. We enable organizations to adopt new technologies. We enable them to manage data better. And in consequence, we enable them to grow their business faster, to enable agents to use these technologies to create new revenue for the companies. And we also do this in a very efficient way. Currently, there's a lot of manual processes. We actually work with mortgage on the institutional side, helping them better manage in their data operations with software, saving them millions of dollars in the process.
Okay. Well, that wraps up our session. I wanted to give a round of applause for our four young gentlemen here. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.